Are you 15 years or older? Congratulations, you qualify to be drafted in the Mongolian military. Welcome to another episode of Severed History. We're going over the Mongol warriors in this episode.
Ooh, I hate the Mongolians.
So as I said, if you are a 15-year-old male, I said male, because at this point in history, you had to be a male in order to enlist in the Mongolian military, be a Mongolian soldier. I guess you could just identify as a male. No, you can't do that back then either. That didn't work. That Y chromosome that men have is really crushing a lot of dreams. But with that being said, you do need the rod and stone package. Before you get upset, yes, women did fight in the Mongolian military. That did happen. I'm not going to just say it didn't, even though I kind of said that a couple times. Mongolian women did fight, but it wasn't the usual thing. That being said, Mongolian women were very vital to making sure this military structure was capable. There we go. Capable is a good word. They often ran the behind the scenes of the military stuff. They were managing supplies. They were handling the camps. They were managing logistics, basically keeping everything from collapsing into total chaos. The Mongolian women behind these warriors, without them, these Mongolian soldiers were just some angry dudes on horses that were flailing around and yelling. So, shout out to all the Mongolian warriors and women in history that made them warriors, and some of the women that even were warriors themselves. They're the real MVPs of the Mongolian Empire. Here we go. Let's get into it. So the Mongolian culture at this time was pretty much dependent on getting ready for warfare. It was basically warrior boot camp 24/7. From a very young age, you were preparing to be a Mongolian warrior. If you were a boy, you were learning how to ride horses, shoot, and fight on and off horseback. Kind of like some crazy ass Boy Scout pack that was just not about learning how to tie knots and sell popcorn. It was all about slaughtering the enemies and taking their land. There's not really any badges you can earn with this one. I don't think so. I don't think you got badges. You probably got fur or maybe a new weapon, which is better. Chances are, once you actually get into the military, you are serving until you died. Now, there's no real retirement plans. You don't have a 401k with the Mongolian military. It's not happening. Originally, Mongol warriors were scattered across many different tribes and camps that had their own laws and cultures and structures. And then a man named Temujin entered. You might know him as a stage name Genghis Khan. His real name was Temujin. Not as scary. I guess maybe if in history we kept calling him Temujin instead of Genghis Khan, it might be a scary word today. It's kind of funny how time adds whatever. Let's go. To kind of make it sound like a more modern pop culture thing you might be able to understand better, Temujin Genghis Khan was pretty much like Thanos